Aloha friends. It's a beautiful morning. It's not too hot out. The past few days it's been so hot. I don't even want to go for a walk. So we usually go on a bike ride then when it's really hot. Bella loves her bike ride. I think you guys have seen that on one of my other videos. So I have been walking with my weighted vest. So relax everybody. Don't be picking on me. But a couple things I want to talk about. I don't know how this came up, but I have always been an outsider my entire life. Don't get me wrong, I've had friends, but I've always been different. Always been different. And I'm okay with that. Maybe when I was younger it wasn't so easy, but I've definitely gotten used to it. And even in this carnivore keto community, I'm the oddball. I don't speak the same language as everybody else. I tell the truth. I'm a truth teller. I test people's blood. I know that eating sticks of butter is not good unless you are an athlete and lean already. I can probably get away from that, but yeah. So I'm an outsider and I'm okay with that. Are you an outsider? I'm a loner. I'm okay with being different. And I think it's kind of set me up for my children because we live in an area where they are the only black kids. There might be another one or two, but not many. And I feel that they're very confident and they're very okay with being different. Funny story. They were comparing skin color when they were really little. And I'm like, what are you doing? And they're like, we're just seeing who's, if we're getting lighter. I was like, what do you mean getting lighter? And they're like, well, you and daddy are lighter than us. And then grandma and grandpa are lighter than you guys. So they thought that they were going to get lighter as they got older. And I was like, oh guys, no, you are beautiful the way you are. You're going to be that color. There's a deer over there. But another thing that kind of rubbed me the wrong way, it wasn't on any of my YouTube videos, but someone interviewed me. It was on their YouTube videos. It was Mama Midich. Love her, but her people obviously weren't as kind as all of you. I love your kind comments. Please keep them coming. They keep me going. But on her YouTube video with me, the comments weren't very kind. They're like, so what, she's anorexic? And the anorexia word was thrown out a lot. And I just want to be clear, I was never anorexic. I never went a day without eating. However, I utilized tools that I used for clients because I'm really good at helping people lose weight, right? But something like protein-sparing modified fast should not be used for someone who's underweight, and I would do that. So, not anorexic, but I definitely utilize tools that were not meant for someone who was underweight. And speaking of being underweight, when we were kayaking the Kinney, I don't know if you watched my girls' trip, the High Protein Meals girls' trip. I took the girls kayaking down the Kinney, which, oh my goodness, I should not have done that because some of them have never been in a kayak before. They're flipping and it was chaos, but they ended up having so much fun. We got to the end of the river and there was a family kind of kayaking. We would pass them, they would pass us. And all of a sudden, someone gets out of the water and they're like, call an ambulance. And the Kinnickinnick River is like limestone cliffs, okay? Steep limestone cliffs where an ambulance can't just come to a person. They either have to kayak down or kayak up or helicopter in. So it was very stressful, but the fire department came, the sheriff came, the ambulance came. And that same day, I was talking to my friend Aubrey earlier about how it was kind of my new highest number on the scale. And I mean, I could look at my face, it's like getting plump, right? I was gonna yeah, great. But it was my new highest number. And she's like, are you freaking out about that number? And I said, no. You know what I'm freaking out about? The sound of that ambulance. When I hear an ambulance, I still panic a little bit. And I said, that's what scares me. And I never want to go in one again, ever. So I think I'm on the right path. Someone also made a comment to me. They're like, okay, Maria, how about I lose 30 pounds and you gain another 30 pounds? I was like, hold on a second. I am super short. If I gain 30 pounds, I'm going to be in the overweight category, which I do not plan to be in. I just want to get to the normal category and be very strong also. So that's my goal. But again, anybody out there that's dealing with the same thing that I'm dealing with, they're trying to gain weight, but they're scared. Everything is better. My hair is better. My skin is better. My energy's better. My moods are better. I was so depressed before. I felt so alone. You know, even though I am an outsider, I'm okay with that. But you know, a month and a half ago, I was just alone and sad. Everything's better. So don't be afraid to gain some weight, because everything's gonna get better. But you're gonna see some great meals that I'm gonna make. I hope you enjoy them. I'll have the links below so you can make them too. Okay, my friends, we are going to be making some carnivore noodles and carnivore chips. But before we do, I just ran the Ninja Creamy for Kai to have this creatine ice cream. Here you go, Kai. There you go. Enjoy. All right, so for the carnivore noodles, this seems complicated, but it's not. We're going to do 550 grams of water. So what I do, or you could use beef broth if you want to, but we're going to use water. I love that beef broth, but in the interest of that, so here's my scale. I'm going to clear that out so it says 0, and we have it in grams already. And what we're going to do is, that's on there, and I'm going to do 550 grams. Let's see, that's 250, 550. Ooh, it's a little too much. 560. So we'll take this out a little bit, and there we go. That's about right. Now I'm going to clear that out, and I'm going to turn it back on. So it's back to 0, and we're going to add 80 grams of gelatin, and we're using our Further Food gelatin. It's grass-fed, it's delicious, and you're going to add enough so you get 80 grams. We're at 50, 60, 70, ooh. There we go, 80 grams of the Further Food gelatin. And they're so generous if you use code Maria, you save on every order. Now we're going to do 120 grams of this. J-Rob egg white protein. This is my new, everybody's like, what do you do? What brand do you use? That's the brand I use. They're a super generous company, and we want 120 grams of that. Oops, clear this out, Maria. So that's going to be back to 0. And we're going to do 120 grams of that. And this is not my recipe. This is my friend Aubrey's recipe. Aubrey and Vito created this recipe, and they made it for us in Hawaii. There's 120 right there. And now I'm going to clear this out one more time, and we're going to do 2.5 grams of salt, and we have a Redmond real salt. Oh, and if you use code Maria20, you save 20% on J-Rob. There we go. Now what I'm going to do is put it on here and blend this up. And this is also going to make crepes. So just a tip, if you let this sit, especially if you put it in the fridge, it's going to get like a thick gel because of the gelatin. If you put it on a pan, like I'm going to, it will get soft again. So now let's jump over to the stovetop and make the crepes. Okay, my friends, now we're using a caraway pan, which is a nonstick pan without the toxic chemicals. I love it, but you don't want to use sprays on this. So I'm just gonna, I usually take a stick of butter and rim it like this. And you also don't want to heat it too high, so I have it on like a medium-high heat. And then we're just going to, once it's hot, pour some of that in there and turn the pan like this. So you have a nice thin crepe. This one might be a little bit too thick. Maybe not. You want it to be really thin, especially if you're going to make it into chips, okay? Because if it's too thick, then it's not going to be a nice crispy chip. And I'm going to grab a little spatula. I love my mini spatulas. Because once it's done cooking on one side, we're going to flip it and continue on with the rest of it. And ta-da! There we go. I'm going to grab a plate to put these on. And when they made these for us, actually my favorite story about these crepes is Aubrey and Vito came to Greece with me. Oh, they actually came to, I'm telling the Bali story. When they came to Bali with me, we were at a temple and Aubrey was eating something. I was like, what is that, a wrap? She's like, yeah, I brought the protein wraps, the crepes, and she made a sandwich with them, which was just so cute. I loved it. So we're by a temple and she's eating the crepes. So cute. And when they made it for us in Hawaii, we made bolognese, we made mushroom cream sauce. Ooh, this one might be too thin. Add a little bit more. There we go. And sorry, I know it's aiming away from the camera is not great. But this is like a really great high protein meal, especially, I mean, there are the miracle noodles made with egg whites, but these are even better and way more affordable. So, and you can freeze these. They freeze great. And so I'm going to continue making these, and then we're going to show you how to make the noodles and the chips. Okay, friends, we had this lovely stack of crepes. That's how many it made. I don't know if there was 20, if you guys were counting the time lapse. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take about half of them and we are going to cut these into chips. Okay, so you could use a pizza cutter or a knife, whatever you want. And we're going to cut them into tortilla chips like this. And then we're going to place them. I do not have a dehydrator. Please don't send me one. I have enough gadgets. And we're just going to place them, I didn't do a great job cutting them, onto a parchment-lined baking sheet like this. And I have my oven on to the lowest setting. Mine goes down to 180. Sometimes they don't go that low. I wish I would have cut these better for a picture. Oh well. And then we're going to dehydrate those. So the rest of them, we are going to, I'm just going to set this aside because I'll do that tedious work in a minute. And this is, again, was Aubrey's idea. And I've made carnivore chips that were not great. See how thin these are? This is what's going to create a great chip. And you could add a seasoning if you want to, like ranch seasoning, do your like Cool Ranch Doritos, whatever you want. But in the interest of carnivore, we're going to keep them plain. And these are great, like especially some people think, oh, I wish I could have something crispy on my keto or carnivore diet. Here you go, people. Crispy and it's not a pork rind, right? I don't know, I'm not a big fan of those. So that's one pan. I have a couple pans. I'm just gonna set this over here because the rest of these, what I'm going to do is I'm gonna roll these thin. Oh, I could probably make a couple more chips with these. I'm going to roll these very thin and make these into noodles. So what you want to do is just roll them up like this, and then you can cut them as thin or thick as you want. We'll do more of a fettuccine shape because I'm going to do some Alfredo. I'll show you how to make my carnivore Alfredo sauce. So ta-da! We got noodles. Those are kind of short, but those are the end pieces. Ta-da! These are really perfect noodles that taste delicious. I can't wait to show you the Alfredo sauce because I love it. It's good. You could also do a pesto, whatever you want, but these are great. or like the Parmesan cream sauce. We did like a little truffle Parmesan mushroom cream sauce when they were in Hawaii. It's delicious. I'll have to post some pictures in my video. But these are the noodles. I'm gonna get these into the oven for a couple hours, and we'll catch you back in a little bit. Okay friends, to make the Alfredo sauce, I'm browning the butter first. I know this is totally not traditional. I don't even have cream in my Alfredo sauce. I shouldn't call it that, I got it. But browning the butter, it's starting to brown, it's getting quiet. When you brown butter, it's really loud at first, sizzling, and then it gets quiet. That means that you need to make sure that you stir, because the brown flecks are gonna start appearing, and if you don't stir it, it'll get black. And you'll have burnt butter, which is a French delicacy, but I think it's just gross. It just tastes like burnt butter. So, it's frothing up. That is brown butter. It tastes great on everything from fish, seafood, steaks. It's a piece of magic. I think I brown butter in every one of my videos. I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. So now that it's getting brown, I'm going to turn this off so it'll continue to brown. And at this point, we're going to add the other ingredients. So you want about 2 cloves of garlic. Ooh, sorry about that. 2 cloves of garlic. I know I hate it when it's loud, when people are doing YouTube videos. If you're 100% carnivore, you could omit the garlic. I do like some garlic. I'm going to add 8 ounces of cream cheese. And I'll have the links below for you guys of my recipes. And we're going to add a cup of Parmesan cheese. Okay, and then I'm going to kind of let that all melt in here. We're going to add some beef broth. So I'm all about, when you can, making it lighter and always adding beef broth. I am using this Kettle and Fire beef broth. It's really delicious. I love it. I'm going to add 2/3 of a cup to that. You can make it thinner or thicker if you want it that way. Doesn't really matter. And then we're going to use a stick blender to puree that till it's smooth. I wish this had smell-o-vision because this smells absolutely divine. I mean, brown butter, some garlic, some Parmesan. It is a flavor bomb for sure. We got the umami from the beef broth. We got umami from the Parmesan. We got umami from the brown butter. It's going to be delicious. Aloha, Kai.
Hi.
Now everybody knows that you tried it before the taste test, didn't you?
The chip.
The chips. We have some Carnivore chips. What do you think of those Carnivore chips? They need to be baked a little bit longer?
Yeah.
Are they crunchy?
Yeah.
They're good though. They're still in the oven. I kind of jumped the gun, but I didn't want to wait any longer. What if you like dipped it into something like ranch or something?
That would be good.
That would be good? How about we do that? What would you rate it 1 through 10? I have some ranch, people. I always got ranch here. What are you thinking? You gonna give us a rating 1 through 10?
The chips alone, I'm going to rate the chips with the ranch and alone.
Okay, let's do that.
Chips alone, honestly, they're good. I'd give them like a solid
It's okay.
8.
8?
Yeah.
Okay, now dip it into the ranch and tell me what you think. Ooh, I hear the crispy chip.
That's like a 9.
That's like a 9.5 or just
Yeah.
9?
Like a 9.
9. Okay, now I have some Carnivore noodles for you because the chips are the same as the noodles. Do you remember when Vito and Aubrey came to Hawaii?
Yeah.
And we had like the huge foods extravaganza?
Mm-hmm.
That one needed to be baked a little bit longer. You obviously like it. I think it's higher than a 9. Why don't you try the noodles? Noodles with Alfredo sauce. Do you like Alfredo sauce? It's like garlicky.
Sure.
Sure? Okay. Yeah, give us a spin with the pasta. And then rate it 1 through 10 for everybody. We're going to want more sauce than that. You like the sauce?
Mm-hmm.
I love that sauce. Burr, burr, burr.
I like the air in the noodles.
Yeah, it's like tender, right?
Mm-hmm. I'd give it a 9.
A 9.
0.3.
9.3 people. What do you think of the sauce?
The sauce is like
Okay. Not your favorite?
a 7.
What if we put like
Maybe a 6.
a marinara on there?
Yeah, that would be better.
Okay, it was all about the noodles anyway, right? So
Yep.
people, we want you to try this recipe, both of them. Try the chips, try the noodles, and give us a rating in comments. 1 through 10, what you think, right, Kai?
Yep.
We love to see it. What do you want to tell people?
Cook with your kids.
Cook with your kids and make the carnivore pasta, people. Yum. Aloha, friends. I just have to take a minute to vent because I can handle constructive criticism, but someone made a comment that my pure protein ice cream is for the rich. Now, I did the math, and even if you get the protein powder I use without any discounts, which they always have a discount, you could even use my code, it is $3.67 to make this huge thing. Now, if you go to the store and buy Rebel ice cream, it's minimum $7.99. In Hawaii, where we live, it's $10.99. Not to mention all the bad ingredients in there that I don't recommend. And people go to Starbucks all the time. They buy a venti latte that's almost $7, and it's filled with mold. I mean, coffee has a lot of mold, people, and it doesn't taste as good as this. I'm sorry, this is not for the rich. It's for people that prioritize their health. So my friends, I hope you enjoyed some of the recipes I created for you to try, and it was just another successful week. I haven't gained any more, but I'm not slipping back. I haven't lost any. And I was talking to my dear friend Aubrey about it, and she said, Maria, just like when people are trying to lose weight, it's not a linear line. You know, there's fluctuations. So just, you know, have the eyes on the prize and keep going. And I think my issue is partly is my hunger has gone down tremendously. So the hunger I used to feel before, where I would lay curled up in a ball face down to stop the hunger at night, I don't have that hunger ever anymore. So it's almost like I have to remind myself to eat. But yeah, I mean, be patient with me. Again, like anybody who is in the weight loss category, it's not a linear line. There's fluctuations up and down and all around. So anyway, I appreciate all your nice comments and encouragement, and I appreciate you more than you realize. Thank you.